Yo guys, this is Sundown Rider here. This is going to be my chapter review to One Piece 886. That's the way I live. Now, I think a lot of people enjoyed this chapter. I really enjoyed this chapter. I thought it was a really well done chapter. And like I said, I enjoyed it. I think a lot of people would have enjoyed it too. There might have been some people who didn't like it, but hey, what more were you expecting? This chapter I really enjoyed. Let's get on to exactly why I enjoyed it. So first we had that whole fiasco, that whole debacle between Oven and the cake making crew, Sanji, Chiffon and Pudding, where he wants to publicly execute Chiffon for her mutiny. We only get that this chapter. He sees Chiffon, he's like, okay, we can do what Pudding wants and go and give the cake on the sea, like carry on making it on the sea and give it to Big Mom on sea, because she's gonna come to this island. She's gonna come to, what is it? Is it Nut Island? No, Cacao Island. She's gonna destroy the whole place if she comes here. So let's get it to on the sea. And he's fine with that. Oven's fine with that, but he's like, hey, I'm not fine with Chiffon because she's part of the mutiny, So he's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. So then Sanji, the reason why this was all so cool was because Sanji finally showed us something worth talking about this chapter for him. Sanji's been doing a lot of stuff. It was cool when he dodged like Katakuri's jelly bean and stuff at the wedding, and he did some stuff there. But he kind of got put down by, was it Daifuku or was it Oven? I forgot. I think it was Daifuku. And I was like, come on, Sanji, man, I know you're better than this. So our boy showed us some stuff. He's like, our boy is so fast that even Oven couldn't perceive who hit him when he did. I was like, yo, because Sanji like cracked a shot on his shoulder, which kind of pushed back the punch he was throwing at. It was Pound, yeah, it was Pound, and Pound then it looks like Pound wrecked Oven, but obviously it was Sanji's kick that just totally blew away Oven. So he's so fast that even Oven couldn't perceive him. Now that's a whole new level of fast. It looks like some sort of Soru type of movement, the CP9 type movement. We saw the whole Cypher Pole. I think even the Marines, high level Marines, are taught in that kind of art. I've forgotten exactly what it's called, but Soru is the movement that Sanji seems to have been imitating, and it's basically the same thing he utilizes in his Blue Walk, or was it Skywalk, one of those. So it's basically the same type of thing, like extreme speed through his legs and everything. So that was really cool to see. And he even saves Chiffon in the process. He kicks the shit out of Oven, and he's like, he grabs Chiffon and he does one, all in like a split second. So it was really fast. And he's like, I got to do this before anybody notices I'm there, or even notices that it's me. And then all you see is Pudding with a nosebleed. I was like, yo, yeah, she knows it was him. She could keep up. I was actually surprised that she could keep up with his movement, because he didn't exactly tell her, hey, I'm gonna go save Chiffon. He just kind of did it. But maybe she kind of knew he was gonna make a move, because she knows what kind of guy he is. Now the thing I've written in my notes, why doesn't Pudding recognize? But it was, why doesn't Chiffon recognize Pound? Now I was like, yo, okay, why doesn't she recognize her dad? Maybe it could be just because he was thrown out by Big Mom so quickly. Maybe he seems to have like some sort of giant-ish kind of nature to him. He's a really large individual, so he does seem to have some sort of giant quality to him. But after birthing Lola and Chiffon, because we know Big Mom's like all about getting her kids to be like giant level. She wants everyone to see eye to eye with her, like literally, because of what Mother Caramel said. So Big Mom, I think she was expecting to have like giant kids basically through Pound, but after seeing and after birthing Lola and Chiffon, she must have been like, oh bitch, this is a lie. The cake was a lie. So she must have cast him out instantly, because they weren't giant in the slightest in regards to Lola and Chiffon. So as a result, Chiffon and Lola must not have ever met their father. They must have just been born. A couple weeks later, Pound was out. So a darker, less likely theory, and very, very much like less likely. It's not. I'm not even considering this, but it's there. It could be a niggling thing. Is that Pudding has a hand in the whole in the reasoning behind why Chiffon can't remember Pound, but Pound can remember Chiffon. Either she messed up Chiffon's memories, or she added stuff to Pound's memories. So we don't know, but I doubt that's legit. I think it's just more that Pound must have gotten rid of so like really, really quickly by Big Mom. Beige this chapter was he the MVP? I think he might have been the MVP. Beige this chapter was worthy of his entire persona of the Godfather. With his wife being held hostage, he's been told to make port and surrender. Oven's like, yo, I got you, lady. You best come in, make port, surrender your ass. Any funny business, I'm a killer ass. So like obviously Beige is like, shit, I gotta go in and save her, because we know as much of a dickhead as he can be to other people, he's the father to his crew, and he's the husband to his wife. He really appreciates Chiffon, which is it's a nice, refreshing thing to see, especially considering we see like a whole bunch of different types of animals in this manga. So he makes port, and he's making port, and he's like, bro, not today. Oven takes a dirty cannon shot straight to his face, and I was like, yo, and he gets blown away. Oven gets absolutely demolished, and he just gets like hit about 50 yards away. So I assume Beige's ability to miniaturize stuff, like how he can miniaturize, like I'm pretty sure we saw it in like back on Shabari Archipelago, where we see this kind of layer or maybe it was back on Zou, where you see this layer surrounding Beige, where it's like the layer where things start to miniaturize around him. And I assume if he's holding anything, or if anything's in very close proximity to him, he can miniaturize them. Then he can put them in his castle, his body. And this applies to his gun. You know, his gun. He's got. It was obviously a cannon shot in that gun. So he must have miniaturized like a cannonball, or miniaturized even a cannon, and made a handheld version of it. And he fired that off at Oven, and then obviously once it exited that area around Beige, which is responsible for the miniaturization, it turned into a cannonball, and it fucked up our boy Oven. And it was really nice, the line he says to his son as well. It was just the icing on the cake, really. He was like, he said something like, Pez, this is the way I live, that's the way I live, you know, we don't take shit from nobody, we're gonna destroy everyone. So I really liked that aspect of Beige. It was so cool to see. And once again, the whole like handheld cannon thing, that was awesome, man. I mean, like, I really like the way he utilizes his devil fruit. We then see the Straw Hats, who are coming in behind the fleet that are trying to siege, essentially, Beige and the Fire Tank Pirates. Now, this basically shit's gonna go down. Okay, shit's gonna go down. Oven is in for a real wrecking, because the Straw Hat crew is behind the entire fleet, who are trying to siege in the Fire Tank Pirates. So essentially, the fleet has been pincered in by the Straw Hats and the Fire Tank Pirates, who have all these notable names on their crews. And the siege itself, I don't think anybody really worthy is on those ships. We don't know just yet, but they're in for a real wrecking, because Oven's on land. It's going to be hard for him to get to one of the ships, and he's not going to really be able to help anybody, especially because he's probably going to get wrecked by Beige and the Fire Tank crew themselves. And he's already been hit by Sanji. Maybe Sanji will continue, but I think Sanji's going to go and try and deliver that cake right now. So, like I said, the fleet are going to be destroyed. The Fire Tank Pirates will reclaim Chiffon, and they can continue the plan as normal. Now, the other thing is, will Beige have one more ingredient to add to the cake? We know that Big Mom's going to munch that stuff down, but he was very, very fond of that whole poison gas thing that he was going to enact on Big Mom. And now that he's here, and the cake's still technically being made, he could add one last ingredient, a poisonous ingredient. That would totally wreck Big Mom. So let's see if that actually happens. But it is a possibility. We then come to a line from Carrot. After that, talking about the Straw Hat crew, we got to talk about what Carrot said. Tonight will be a full moon. She's holding down her hat. She doesn't look unconfident. She doesn't look scared. She just looks wary, and she looks like, all right, this shit's about to go down. She looks like she's like focused. That's the kind of look she had for me. And we've had this foreshadowing of, like, before back on Zou a couple times, actually. I think Wanda made mention of it to Luffy when she was like, "Are you lucky that you didn't come on the night of a full moon," or something like that. And I think it was either Inuarashi or maybe Nekomamushi. They both said something. One of them said something about it being like the night of a full moon or something like that. So I assume the minks, and I think a lot of people are basically assuming now, the minks are were creatures, you know, whether they be a were zebra or were gorilla, or in this case, a were rabbit. So Carrot might be a were rabbit, and I think they'll become immensely savage on the night of a full moon, and they'll become really, really powerful upon the completion of the moon. But maybe the more powerful minks can actually control it, or, you know, are better able to utilize their savagery and direct their power, you know. And now the question here is, can Carrot direct her anger and her savagery and all that power? Because she's meant to be a powerful mink, and you'd assume that maybe she could do it, but she's also a very young mink. I mean, she was younger than Pedro. She's probably one of the younger minks. She's younger than Wanda as well, you'd think. So I don't think she'd actually be able to control it, but she looks like she's ready to try and to at least try to control it. You know, she's holding down her hat, and she's like, okay. She has a very focused look to it. That's what it looked like. She didn't look afraid. And by the way, there's this whole legend in Japanese, like, legend and mythology and stuff, based on a rabbit, the moon, and Mochi, and like this old man coming down from the moon, and he's like he comes in as a beggar and stuff, and he's like, I need some food or something. So then there's like this monkey, there's a monkey, a rabbit, and then there was another creature. I've forgotten what it was. Was it a pheasant? I don't know. And they all go and bring him food. The rabbit doesn't have anything to give him, so the rabbit tells the old man to build a fire and stuff like that, and then jumps in the fire. And the old man's like, "Hey, you ain't gonna die for me," and stuff like that. So then he takes him back to the moon, and basically, like if you look at the moon, there's supposed to be like this image. You're supposed to be able to see like the likeness of a rabbit making the ingredients for rice cakes or mochi. So like, there's this whole thing in Japanese mythology on a rabbit, the moon, and mochi. If you want to check it out properly, check the One Piece Reddit. Go find Knot Swag, so the KNOT Swag, all in one. He actually comments in that subreddit, and then read Istama, so ISTAMA, their post in Knot Swag's post. So it's one of the responses for more info. He's got like the whole story, and I don't think that whole legend will correlate more than the fact that they're in the story. So there's Mochi in the story with Katakuri, and there's Kara and the moon and whatever. We're gonna go to the moon and the whole werewolf thing, the whole were-rabbit thing. But I think the moon and Kara, like I just said, may still have a part to play. So then we come on to like the last part of the chapter, which was Luffy's flashback, seeing Rayleigh, and he's like, Rayleigh's like, okay, you know what? I've taught you all the basics about haki and stuff, but haki only blooms properly in real life situations, in real battle situations. So that's the only time your haki's gonna go like that's the best way to exponentially improve your haki. And Luffy's resolve, therefore, to fight Katakuri has completed so many people. Now, I wasn't annoyed the last few chapters where Luffy was running away, because I was like, yeah, he's got to run away. My boy doesn't want to die, you know, and Katakuri is really, really strong, and he's got big experience on Luffy. But I was conflicted because I knew of the comment he made to Fujitora, which was, you know, I've had enough of running away. And he makes that comment to Zoro as well, like, I ain't running away no more. So the fact that Luffy then resolves again, like, I can't run away, I gotta fight him, I want to fight him at his full power, I was like, yo, this is gonna be sick. Because Luffy's gonna attempt to improve his haki in fight as Rayleigh instructed. And this is gonna be some mad development for Luffy, because he's going to have to endure through Katakuri's Kenbunshoku and hopefully wear down Katakuri's reserves of energy, whilst trying to improve his own. And he did say in the chapter he wants to try and see a bit into the future like Katakuri can. So he's trying to improve his own haki while he's trying to learn and gain XP. And this basically he's grinding out this fight so that he can gain XP. And I'm just like, yo, like, this is what Luffy needs to do, and he's gonna get real strong through this. And I like the fact that Rayleigh did make mention of, you gotta fight strong people to get stronger, you know, that's the only way you're gonna get tough. So I like the chapter. Once again, it was like at least an 8 out of 10. It was a really good chapter, and that's it. That's all there was this chapter. So let me know what you guys thought. Anything you want to say it in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share my videos if you know people who enjoy watching these reviews. Let's try and get some views and subs and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought, and I'll see you guys in a bit.